Welcome to Solving Citizen Encounters. All right, today we're in day 3 of the trial, and this time the pro se defendant gets to cross-examine a star witness, his nephew. Now we're going to see just how aggressive he gets in court, and he's going to be approaching a dangerous line with the judge, and you'll see it's definitely going to be a whole lot going on. Let's go. All right, good evening. Welcome. We're going to get right into it tonight. Everybody, I've been getting a lot of comments about this tonight, so we'll see how it turns out tonight about when I was going to do the next part because it's been 3 days. So people been keeping track of what's going on. But yeah, this is going to be a good one. No jokes. You know, I'm always straight with you. It's going to be some witnesses in here. Yeah, I think you're going to enjoy it. At the same time, not liking this guy. So, all right. And hello to everyone that's in the chat and been hanging out. So I want to make sure I say hello to everybody who's already here. So let's get this party started. Let's go.
Good afternoon. Court is back on the record and can call the matter for Christopher Donison, 23 CR 1513. We do have all parties and counsel present in the courtroom. We are outside the presence of the jury following the noon recess. Are there any issues that we need to address before we see if the jury is ready to come in?
Your Honor, I've just been informed that Mr. Arroyo, who is our next witness, he's being dropped off right now, so I'd say another 5 minutes or so.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Donison, anything that you'd like the court to be aware of at this time?
Yes, Your Honor, I have a motion I'd like to turn in. I just need to get a copy for Mr. Skelton. I've made him aware of the motion. I just need to get a copy for him.
If you want to have Mr. Lemus
Yes, yes, Your Honor.
approach with it.
He did show me a copy. It's unnecessary for the court to provide me a written one.
Okay,
Reviewed it.
thank you.
Yep.
All right, the court has just been, and since we're waiting for Mr. Arroyo, we can just address it. The court's been just provided a motion in limine with regard to the defendant's criminal history. I had an opportunity to just briefly review it while Ms. Leach is going to scan it in so that it's part of the court's record. Okay. Mr. Donison, is there any additional record you'd like to make with regard to the motion in limine?
No.
Mr. Skelton or Mr. Daly?
I'll just note, I believe I was going to pull the specific statutory authority, but I believe there's a specific rule of criminal procedure and statute here in Colorado that calls for the admission of any felony convictions of a witness. They shall be admitted to potentially impeach that witness's credibility. Now it's up to the jury to decide what weight, if any, to place upon those criminal convictions. But it's part of the court's advisement that if he does seek to testify and if he makes that decision, we can impeach him with evidence that he was previously convicted of felonies. And so I would object to the motion, and I do believe the law calls for those convictions to come in for impeachment purposes, and potentially we'll have to craft a jury instruction on it. But I do not believe the 401 or 403 supports the exclusion of felony convictions for impeachment purposes.
Thank you. Any additional record, Mr. Donison?
Huh?
Is there any additional record you'd like to make, Mr. Donison?
No, I think the motion speaks for itself.
Thank you. The court hasn't received the motion. The court's not going to actually issue a ruling on it. I don't believe it comes relevant unless Mr. Donison, after Curtis' advisement, chooses to testify. If he does choose to testify, the people do have an opportunity to cross-examine him with regard to his felony convictions, as they do come in for purposes of impeachment to address his credibility. Thank you.
You denied my motion?
I have not made a ruling with regard to your motion at this time. I think that motion is not ripe unless you choose to testify. If you choose to testify, your felony convictions are, strike that. The district attorney is allowed to cross-examine you and enter in your felony convictions for the purposes of addressing your credibility, which is allowable by statute.
So that would be denying my motion, correct?
Again, sir, I have not made a ruling with regard to the motion.
But isn't that what I'm asking?
It's not ripe yet.
Huh?
It's not ripe yet. Comes up, she'll make a ruling.
So it doesn't become a relevant motion, sir, unless you choose to testify. If you choose to testify, then the court will make a ruling. Right now, it's not what we call ripe, meaning that it's not relevant because we're not at the point where you are making a decision whether or not you're going to testify.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Mr. Arroyo is here, Your Honor.
Great, thank you. Yep. All right, we're going to see if the jury is ready to come in. Thank you. You may be seated. Are the people ready to call their next witness?
Yes, Your Honor. People would call Chase Arroyo.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
All right, Mr. Arroyo, I am going to swear you in. If you wouldn't mind raising your right hand for me. Sir, do you swear and affirm under penalty of law that the information you provide to the court will be the truth and nothing but?
Yes.
Can you please state your full name for the court's record and spell your last name for us?
Chase Terrence Michael Burks Arroyo, Arroyo.
Thank you. Mr. Daly, you may inquire.
My apologies.
Mr. Daly is the attorney who's going to be asking you questions.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
So do you prefer Chase or Mr. Arroyo for today?
Either one works.
All right, I will call you Mr. Arroyo if I slip in Chase. We know I'm talking to you, So to begin, I would like to ask, do you know someone by the name of Christopher Donison?
I do, yes.
Do you see that person in the courtroom today?
Yes.
Would you be able to identify where that person is sitting as well as an article of clothing that person is wearing?
Yes, right in front of me wearing a blue button-up.
And would the record please reflect that the witness has identified the defendant subject to cross-examination?
Record will so reflect subject to cross-examination.
Thank you. Do you know someone by the name of Autumn Quinlan?
I do, yes.
So let me back up a little bit. How do you know the defendant?
He's my uncle.
And how do you know Miss Quinlan?
She's my aunt.
And which of the two are you blood related to?
My uncle.
And so related to Miss Quinlan through that marriage.
Correct.
Specifically, I'd like to turn your attention to a specific date of September 4th of 2023. Do you recall that date?
Yes.
Where were you living on that date?
In my uncle's house down
And-
Greeley.
And do you recall the address?
I do not know.
And were you at the residence that day?
Yes.
Who else was at the residence that day?
Before he says that, I forgot. Remember when we watched the last one and his ex was up there? They were supposed to come back in the afternoon. They never aired it. So I don't know if he cross-examined her or not. So we had to move on from here. I still have more footage to go through, so I have to see.
Me, my uncle, my aunt, their kids. They had 3 kids. My biological father and my grandpa.
What's your grandpa's name?
Not too sure, honestly. I'm sorry. We just call him Big Grandpa.
And your father's name?
Terrence.
And they were all present at the courtroom, or sorry, at the residence that
Yes, sir.
And was Miss Quinlan at the residence in the morning that day?
I don't recall.
Ultimately, let's put it this way, was she not there and then returned to the residence in the afternoon?
I'm sorry. I don't recall.
Do you recall her being at the residence?
I do, yes.
Okay. And do you recall her being at the residence with her children?
Yes.
And specifically, do you remember anything happening that day with Miss Quinlan?
Yes.
What is it that you remember?
Witnessed my uncle beat my aunt.
So I'm going to ask some follow-up on that specifically. When you say your uncle beat your aunt, are you referring to your uncle as the defendant
Yes.
and your aunt being Autumn Quinlan?
Yes.
You say beat her. Where did this take place?
It took place in the basement in their bedroom.
So to kind of do some follow-up on this, can you describe sort of the levels of the home? How many, I guess, floors are there?
All right, before we get into that real quick, Rhonda, thanks for the $5 gift. The memberships, the recipients, congratulations, welcome to the trust. Thank you very much.
So there's 2 floors. There's like your ground level, and then there's necessarily like your basement. So it's 2 stories, but yeah, you just have one that's underground.
And so you said your uncle beat your aunt in the basement,
Correct. Yes, in their bedroom.
in their bedroom. What, I guess, did you observe what led to that?
I did. Yes.
What did you observe?
I believe it was my aunt coming downstairs. Their daughter came up to Autumn and was crying or making a fuss, and she said something along the lines of, "What did he do to you?" Again, and it just kind of spiraled from there.
When you say it's spiraled, well, let me back up a little bit. You said their daughter, what's their daughter's name?
Lily.
And at the time, this being September 4th, 2023, if you know, approximately how old was Lily?
1 or 2.
Very young.
Yes.
And when you said that she, referring to Lily, goes up to Autumn, where did that take place?
Right at the front door to their bedroom.
Down in the basement area?
Correct. Yes, sir.
And then you said it spiraled from there after this comment is made.
Yeah, a lot of yelling. I kept having to go upstairs, try to get other people's attention. Every time I'd come back downstairs, there would be something that would kind of pop up on Autumn. Different things kind of lying around, yelling, screaming, her being on the ground.
So you said other things popping up on Autumn. What do you mean by that?
Just again, seeing that difference, right, from the image you just, going upstairs, then coming downstairs, right, seeing a bruise or seeing again blood kind of coming down her head, or, just again seeing different, like seeing how it's escalating.
So I want to back up for a moment. When Lily approaches Autumn and makes this comment, and then it proceeds to spiral, as you said, did you observe any injuries on Autumn?
During that time, no.
Did you begin observing injuries, and we haven't gotten to any specifics yet, but after that moment?
Can you rephrase that? My apologies.
Yes, of course. So there's a moment where Lily approaches Autumn and you don't observe any injuries on Autumn. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
After things begin to spiral, is that when you begin to observe injuries? on
Yes.
Autumn?
Yes.
How, and when you say these injuries, how are these injuries coming about?
Objection, speculation.
Overruled.
You can answer the question.
Will you rephrase it one more time? My apologies.
Did you observe anything happening to Ms. Quinlan?
Like during the altercation?
Yes. Did you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I witnessed a few things.
What did you observe? What did you witness?
Witnessed him hitting her, throwing her to the ground, hitting her in the legs with a massage gun.
So I want to back up just a little bit. You kind of described 3 things right there. You said hitting her
Mhm.
without any, and is that a yes? Sorry.
Yes, that is.
You said hitting her without any extra, I guess, explanation. When you say you saw him, referring to the defendant, hitting Autumn, how was he hitting her?
Pushing her around, shoving her again, putting her on the ground, just hitting her. It was a while ago. It's a bit of a blur.
Closed fists was he using?
I can't recall if it was closed or open.
Was he using his arms, his hands?
Yes, sir.
You then mention pushing her on the ground.
Yes, sir.
What do you mean by that?
Thinking back, they were standing up for the beginning half of the argument, I believe. And then it kind of came down to him putting her on the floor, pushing her into a wall. And she just kind of collapsed right there on the ground,
And how did he push her into the wall?
forcefully.
And did he use his hands for this?
I can't recall if he pushed like this or with the shoulder, but I acknowledge that at one point she did end up on the ground. I just don't recall how it happened.
When you, and as you said, you don't recall exactly, first of all, we're in 2026, right? Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
This occurred on September 4th of 2023.
Yes, sir.
So it's been about 2.5 years since that incident. Make sure I did the math right in my head. Time, there's been some time between these events. Is that fair to say?
Yes, sir.
Even though you don't remember the specifics on how you observed the defendant pushing Ms. Quinlan, did you observe physical contact between the defendant and Ms. Quinlan to force her to the ground?
Yes, sir.
You also mentioned hitting her in the legs with a massage gun.
Yes, sir.
Can you describe that?
Yeah. Well, my aunt is on the ground, and I mean, and she's saying everything she can to, I don't even know if it's to antagonize or to defend herself. I can't really tell. She's on the ground. She's got her daughter in her arms, and she's just trying to give me the baby, and he's just hitting her with a massage gun, just hitting her ankles repeatedly.
And you say that Lily was in Ms. Quinlan's arms.
Yes, she was.
Only while being hit with a massage gun?
No, during, I think the entire altercation.
So the original being hit?
Yes. Lily,
Oh, go ahead.
sorry, my apologies. Lily walked up to Autumn again at the very beginning of it. And what started the whole thing was Autumn's comment of, what did he do to you or something like that? I forget.
But ultimately, from that interaction, was Miss Quinlan holding Lily?
Yes.
And during this assault, as you've described it, Lily was she in Miss Quinlan's arms while the defendant was assaulting her throughout?
Yes, sir.
Now, as we've described it, we've kind of done it in sort of a quick succession, right? Just kind of like this happened, then this happened, this happened. Is that kind of fair to say?
Yes, sir.
However, was it going this quickly?
Probably over the course of half an hour to an hour, maybe.
So not just like a few seconds at a time.
No, sir.
You also mentioned that, and I'm not going to ask you about specific statements that Ms. Quinlan may have said, but you described that she was either, you weren't sure about antagonizing or getting him to stop, but was she, again, without going to specific statements, saying or making any sounds, saying any words or making any sounds?
Yes.
Was she screaming?
Yes.
Was she crying?
Yes.
Did she appear to be in pain?
Yes.
Where are you during this?
In the bedroom and upstairs.
So when you say you were in the bedroom and upstairs, were you present for the entirety of the assault?
Not the entirety of it, no.
At certain times you left?
Yes, sir.
What were you doing?
Trying to get an adult to come help.
Did you intervene at all?
No, sir.
At any time, did you ever go to retrieve Lily?
I tried, sir.
Did you, you mentioned earlier there were other children in the residence?
Yes.
Where were they?
Upstairs, I believe.
And ultimately, whatever happened with Lily downstairs, what was going on with that, with her?
I mean, she was crying. She wanted to go, she just wanted to go back upstairs or get away from what was happening.
Were you ever able to get her upstairs?
I don't believe so.
But ultimately, there was an assault taking place?
Yes, sir.
Did you call 911?
No, sir.
Why not?
I was scared. Didn't know what to do.
How old were you at the time?
18, 19.
At any point on September 4th, 2023, did the defendant stop assaulting Miss Quinlan?
Yes.
When, or I guess, why?
Police showed up to the residence.
Objection, speculation.
Overruled.
You can answer the question.
Police showed up to the residence.
How do you know police showed up to the residence?
I believe I was either upstairs or was called upstairs.
And when the police arrived, what did the defendant do?
Defendant, my apologies.
Yes, the defendant.
Yes. Freaking out, I guess. Not getting loud, but again, just being like, "Oh, cops are here. Gotta try to
You-
cover it up."
Did the defendant go outside?
I don't recall. I think so. Yes.
Did the police come inside the residence at this point?
No.
Did, to your knowledge, the defendant go outside to speak with the police?
I can't recall.
Ultimately, was there a period of time in which the defendant was not in the residence?
Yes.
During that time, where was Autumn?
In their room.
Did she do anything at this point?
Yes. Yeah, I think she ran out the back door.
Okay. Before getting to that, did you have an opportunity to observe her at this point?
No. No, sir.
And when you say no, what do you mean?
She was downstairs. I was upstairs having a conversation with the officers.
But you mentioned that she went out the back door, right?
Yes, sir.
Did you see her do that?
Yes, sir.
When she did that, were you able to observe her doing that?
Yes, sir.
What did you do when you saw her leaving the residence?
Just kept quiet.
Did you ever leave after her?
Yes, sir.
Where did you go?
I just kind of took off running, trying to see if I can somehow find her.
All right.
Yeah.
Did you eventually find her?
Yes.
And I guess, and I don't know if you're familiar with the area near 1600 Farraker Road. Are you familiar with that area?
Somewhat.
And so when you say you're somewhat familiar, in terms of following her, looking for her, did you find her?
I did, yes.
Approximately how far away was she?
2 or 3 blocks.
Relatively close?
Pretty close, yeah.
When you saw her, what observations did you make at that time?
She was with another gentleman. I could tell she was very distraught. So I walked up to her slowly.
Were you able to get a look at her face?
I was, yes.
Were you able to make any observations?
Yes.
And what were you able to see?
There was blood on her face, quite a bit of it. She had a softball-sized lump on her forehead.
Your Honor, this time, the people had asked to republish People's Exhibit 1 and also provide a copy to Mr. Arroyo.
Yes, you may.
Now, Mr. Arroyo, there's a photo that's been previously admitted as People's Exhibit 1. There's also a photo directly behind you on the screen. Are those the same photos?
Yes, sir.
And so your observations of Miss Quinlan as you're seeing her with this other gentleman, is this how she looked in terms of how you saw her at that time?
Yes, sir.
Now, before Lily, and I'm backing up kind of towards the beginning now, when Lily approached Miss Quinlan and made a comment, did Miss Quinlan have these injuries on her?
No.
Thank you. When you saw her with this other gentleman, did an ambulance ever arrive?
Yes, sir.
What did you do at that time?
Had a conversation with her, just letting her know everything's going to be okay.
Now, you say you had a conversation with her. again, without going to specific statements, but were you trying to create a story about what had happened?
No, sir.
And so ultimately, were you just checking on her?
I'm just gonna back up a little bit. I don't recall if I created a story or not. I'm sorry, sir.
So my question to you was, did you discuss with her what had happened that day on September 4th?
Yes, sir, a little bit.
And when I'm asking you if you created a story, my question to you is,
Objection, leading.
Overruled.
when I'm asking you if you created a story, my question to you is, were you fabricating information to her?
No, sir.
After you briefly spoke with Ms. Quinlan, what did you do?
She was taken in in the ambulance, and I believe I went back home to the Greeley house.
When you went back to the Fairacre residence, was the defendant back in the residence?
Yes, sir.
Were the police there?
I'm gonna say no.
And so at that time, when Ms. Quinlan's no longer in the residence and the defendant's there, what happens?
He leaves. He and my biological father took off.
Yes, that's the first time we've seen her because everything's been on the TV behind the witness stand. So, yeah, she looks pretty rough.
Where did they go?
I don't know.
About how long after you returning to the residence did they leave?
Within 5 to 15 minutes.
And how long were you away from the residence when you were following Ms. Quinlan?
About 15 minutes, probably.
Relatively short amount of time?
Yes, sir.
And so I want to back up to kind of the layout of the residence. At this time, the people would ask to publish People's 14.
Yes.
And there should be, and Investigator Fick's going to get you a copy of it, but there should be a pointer in front of you to help kind of detail where things are located. First of all, do you recognize where this is?
Yes, sir.
What is this a photo of?
This is their bedroom.
When you say their bedroom, referring to the bedroom at the 1600 Fairacre residence?
Yes, sir.
Now, is this the layout as it was on September 4th? Basically, let me rephrase that. Is this the furniture that was in there at that time?
The same furniture? No.
Yeah. This is fair to say, a stock photo of this area.
Yes, sir.
Now, if you could please inform the jury as to where you observed Ms. Quinlan being pushed.
Being pushed. So there's like a little back wall right here. Be like right here.
And when we say back wall, are you saying it's actually on the other side of that wall?
Sir.
Okay. And that's to the, I guess it would be my left. Yeah. So to my left, possibly to your right, how you're looking. But there's an area behind that sort of wall, right? Is there an entryway, sort of pathway right there?
Yes, sir. So it goes back this way necessarily. And then there's a bed right here. And then this wall moves all the way over.
And are there, and when you say that, and that's where she was pushed.
Yes, sir.
When you are observing her being hit by a massage gun, where is that taking place?
In the same area over here?
And when you say same area, is it still behind that side wall?
Yes, sir.
And so with that, is there any furniture around that area?
Yes, sir. There was a tiny couch right here, along with their bed, going that way.
And so when you observed her being hit, was she on or near any of that furniture?
The bed, yeah, their bed.
And when you say, and when I ask when she's being hit, is that when she's being hit with a hand or open hand or referring to the massage gun?
I don't really recall if she was hit on the bed, but it was just right around there, sir.
And was that, I guess I'll ask a better question. That was kind of, even I'm kind of confused by my own question. When she's on the bed, is she being hit by the defendant using the massage gun?
No, sir.
And then where is she when she's being hit with the massage gun?
On the floor, like up against that wall,
And where on her body is she being hit?
on the legs.
And then again, I want to back up a little bit. Earlier, I asked you a question about if you were able to retrieve Lily from the basement area during this. Do you recall me asking that question?
I do, yes.
Are you able to recall whether or not you were able to assist her?
I cannot recall.
Would it be helpful to review some footage of body cam interview that was done where you gave some statements to law enforcement on September 4th, 2023?
Yes, sir.
So, Mr. Arroyo, what's going to happen? Investigator Fick's going to approach you. She's going to have you listen to a portion of a video. After you're done listening to it, I'm going to have some follow-up questions
Right.
for you, okay?
Thank you.
Were you able to refresh your recollection as to my previous question?
Yes, sir.
And so were you able to assist Lily while in the basement?
Yes, sir.
And what did you do?
As Autumn's on the ground, I believe I was able to grab her, or Autumn handed her to me.
And where did you go?
Upstairs.
And then ultimately, did law enforcement return to the residence?
Yes, sir.
Did you speak with members of law enforcement?
I don't recall.
Did you just observe a video in which you're?
Yes. Okay. Yes, sir.
Do you recall having a conversation? I'm not going to ask you about specifics, but do you recall having a
Yes, sir.
conversation? Was this after the defendant had left the residence?
No.
You spoke with law enforcement before the defendant left?
I don't recall. I'm sorry.
Ultimately here, you did speak with law enforcement.
Yes.
Did you detail to them what you observed during the assault?
Yes.
The assault in which the defendant was hitting Ms. Quinlan
Yes, sir.
and hitting her with a massage gun?
Yes, sir.
Now, in your observations, was this, say, a mutual fight between the two people?
No, sir.
Did you ever see Ms. Quinlan grab the defendant by his testicles?
No.
Did you ever see Ms. Quinlan hit the defendant?
No.
Did you ever see Ms. Quinlan slap the defendant in the face?
No.
Ultimately, is what you observed a beatdown by the defendant to Ms. Quinlan?
Yes, sir.
Or I don't have any further questions.
Thank you. Mr. Donison, any cross-examination?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, this is where it gets real. And I think some of the questions you're asking in the comments will come out here about the relation and who was in the house. Because I think from what I remember, it was just him and the grandfather in the house. And the grandfather's an older guy. So that's why they probably wasn't able to do anything. But it's about to come out.
Chase, until we reunited in 23, the last time I seen you before that was when you were about 5 years old, right?
Yes.
So truth be told, we're not that close and we don't really know each other, right?
Yes.
You came to live with us after that, or after falling out with your roommates, correct?
Yes.
You became reunited with us on Facebook.
Yes.
Things started to fall apart when you came to live with us pretty fast, you say?
Yeah. I would.
Your dad started to come around,
Yes.
your biological father,
Yep.
and things started to fall apart pretty quickly.
Yes and no. There's arguments going around.
He started to become a negative influence in your life.
Can I object to relevance, Your Honor?
I'm getting to it, Your Honor.
So what, I need to not tell me just you're getting to it. What's the relevance? And we can do a sidebar if you need to.
People would request a sidebar.
He did quite a few of those in this hearing, but I cut them out. But we'll keep going.
Court sustains the objection.
Mr. Arroyo. My gosh. How long did you live with us?
Couple months.
That day you came home, let me see. Yeah, I know. You and I just started having a falling out early on. You started moving in there, right?
I mean, you had a falling out?
Yeah.
I don't believe so.
When we found that loaded gun in your room,
Objection, Your Honor, 404.
Sustained.
when we found methamphetamine and loaded
Objection,
syringes
Your
in
Honor,
room,
404.
Sustained.
when we caught you using drugs in our
Objection, Your Honor, 404.
Sustained. We can sidebar.
This is all true, though.
Your Honor,
Mr. I'm gonna instruct the jury to strike that last remark from their memory of Mr. Donison. Mr. Donison, sidebar now.
The judge is not happy with him.
Okay, Chase. All right. So I can. That day she came home, I met her halfway up the stairs carrying the baby, correct?
Yeah.
Face.
Yes.
And I had the baby in my arms, correct?
Yes.
And I tried to hand her the baby, correct?
I don't recall if you tried to hand her to her.
And I was trying to leave, correct?
Do not recall.
Because I was waiting for her to get home so I could leave, correct?
I still don't recall. I'm sorry.
Chase, everyone in that house knew that I was trying to leave her and end the relationship. Wasn't that my goal the whole day?
objection, lacks personal knowledge.
I sustain in part, but overrule in part. Mr. Donison, you can rephrase your question as it pertains to Mr. Arroyo's knowledge.
Chase, that day, wasn't everyone aware that we were arguing about me trying to end the relationship?
Objection, same objection. He can ask for the court's ruling what Mr. Arroyo knew, but not what everyone else knew.
Sustained. Again, you can ask what Mr. Arroyo knew as opposed to what
Okay,
everyone else.
you're right, Your Honor, I'm sorry. Chase, had Autumn and I been arguing about me trying to end the relationship that day?
I don't recall what it was about, but I do recall about an argument.
Chase, do you recall there being a long-winded argument that I had been trying to move out and that I wanted to leave Autumn?
No.
Do you recall other arguments of me telling Autumn I did not want to be with her?
Yes.
Do you recall me telling Autumn many, many times that I did not want to be with her anymore?
Yes.
And did Autumn beg me over and over to stay with her?
Objection to hearsay, Your Honor.
That
Hold on. Overruled.
you can answer that question.
Can you just repeat it one more time? My apologies.
I'm sorry. And would Autumn not want me to end that relationship?
I don't recall if it was mutual.
Okay. Chase, so you do recall that I was walking up the stairs to meet Autumn with the baby that day and was trying to hand her off,
Yes.
right? Yes?
Yes.
And I was trying to hand the baby off to Autumn that day. Yes, you just stated that, yes?
Yes. Yes.
Yes. And I was trying to leave.
Your Honor, this has been asked and
Okay, I'm
answered.
sorry. He answered the question, yes. Autumn came home that very, very angry that day, didn't she?
I don't recall.
Autumn came home that day and Autumn came home that day and accused me of hurting Lily, didn't she?
Objection, Your Honor, this is hearsay.
Overruled.
Yes.
Have you ever seen me hurt Lily?
No.
Have you ever seen me hurt any of my children?
Objection, Your Honor, relevance.
Sustained.
During this whole altercation, you never saw me with a knife?
I don't recall.
You recall giving testimony before saying you never saw me giving a knife with a knife, correct?
Yeah. First time around. Yes.
And you recall saying that you never saw me with a knife, correct?
Back then, yes, I do.
And that testimony changes today?
It was still pretty hard to recall back then still, and it's still hard to now. That's why I still say I don't recall.
But
You
your
have-
testimony then was, back then when it was clearer, was no.
I believe it was probably, I still don't recall. I don't recall if there was a knife. Also done thinking too, but I don't recall if there was.
And do you recall that your testimony then was that you don't recall me ever carrying a knife?
Objection, Your Honor, this has been asked and answered.
Sustained.
So you recall there being a massage gun, but not a knife?
Yes, sir.
And do you and hold on, let me see. So, Mr. Arroyo, you recall there being all kinds of blood?
Yes,
You do?
I do.
So where do you see blood in those pictures?
It's a good question. They're no longer up here.
And when I came back downstairs that day, you went back into your room after Autumn put down the baby, correct?
I do not recall.
And after Lily got back down, ran away, you went back into your room because you didn't want to be part of it, correct?
Yes. Yes.
And then me and Autumn started arguing, correct?
I believe that's what brought me into the room.
Mr. Arroyo, you said that you went back and forth upstairs quite a bit, correct?
Yes.
And you said that it was you that hollered downstairs that the police were there, correct?
I do not recall. No, I did not holler that the police were there.
It was Grandpa that called downstairs and said that the police were there, wasn't it?
It was Christopher.
It was little Christopher?
You remember he came and got me? Like, hey, there's cops outside. They want to ask you questions. Or no, he just said there was somebody here for you. And then Big Grandpa told me.
It was Grandpa who said it was there, wasn't it?
Mhm. Yep.
It was Grandpa who hollered downstairs and said there was somebody there. There was the police that was there to talk to me, wasn't it?
No, it's Christopher. Little Christopher.
And at that point, all of us were sitting there talking. Chase, isn't that correct?
Downstairs, yeah.
You and I and your father and Autumn were all sitting there in our room talking, correct?
I believe Danny, my father, was upstairs when Christopher came and got me.
You and I and Autumn and your father were all sitting around in the room hanging out talking.
Asked and answered, Your
Correct.
Honor.
Sustained.
No, not correct.
Hmm. You say that this altercation lasted an hour or so, correct?
Yes.
You say this went on for about an hour? Is that what you're saying?
It's hard to recall, but I know it went on for a while.
And so when you say that the baby was, so you never saw me hit my child?
No.
This whole time that you're saying I'm beating on Autumn and she's holding.
I'm sorry, Mr. Donaldson, you need to pull the microphone closer, so
I apologize, Your Honor. I
Right.
apologize. I'm sorry. Sir, during the whole time that Autumn and I are tussling and we're getting into it, you weren't there for the whole altercation. You never saw her grab onto me, correct?
Correct.
You never saw her do anything to me at all.
Correct.
You didn't saw her start the fight?
Correct.
Can I object to argumentative?
I'll sustain in part. Mr. Donaldson, you can rephrase that question.
Um, I don't know how I asked it. I was saying you didn't see how the fight started, correct?
I did.
But you just said that a minute ago that you went back into your room before when we started arguing.
I was there when it happened. When it all started. Again, it started because Lily mentioned something to Autumn where it was like again, or Autumn mentioned something to Lily. It's like, what did he do to you? That's when it started.
Chase, you weren't there for that, correct?
I was.
So you heard that.
I did hear that. I witnessed.
You heard Lily say ow.
I did.
You heard that.
I couldn't recall if it was out, but I know she said something.
so
and
what
then
did you hear
Autumn
then?
got her. Huh?
So what did you hear then? You weren't
Your room.
there.
I was right there.
Chase, you weren't there.
Your Honor, this has been asked and answered. I would ask the defendant to
I'm
move.
going to sustain. It's also argumentative.
Chase, is it your testimony today that during direct, you were asked if you remember creating a story? Correct?
I remember creating a story.
Yeah.
Ask it one more time. My apologies. Let me make sure I actually understand what you're asking.
But during direct, you were asked if you remember creating a story. And you said you weren't sure.
Yes, I was.
And okay.
Hey, Lone Wolf, what's going on? Glad you came by. Thanks for sending the pack in. And yeah, I never heard of wolves taking dogs out, but it's all good.
Where were you living after you left Colorado?
Objection to relevance, Your Honor.
Sustained.
Did you move in with Autumn Quinlan when you moved back to Colorado?
Yes.
How long did you live with Autumn Quinlan when you moved back to Colorado?
3 months?
Did the district attorney move you in with her?
No.
They didn't move you back here when they found you?
No.
Did you get in any trouble out there when you were out there?
Objection, Your Honor, to relevance
I- I thought the criminal history was
No.
open.
So we need to have a sidebar then.
I had no further questions.
Thank you, Mr. Daly. Any redirect?
Yes, Your Honor. Hello again.
Just some follow-up questions. On September 4th, 2023, did you at any time during your observations of the assault taking place in the basement, did you see Autumn Quinlan ever hit the defendant?
No.
Ever grab the defendant?
No.
Who started the physical fight?
Chris Donaldson?
The defendant?
Yes.
During that time, during the beginning of the assault, where was Lily?
Downstairs.
Was she being held by Autumn?
Yes.
During the assault, including the use of a massage gun, where was Lily?
In Autumn's arms.
Now, again, you weren't present during the entirety of the assault, were you?
Correct.
But you were present during the beginning of it,
Yes, sir.
and that was started by the defendant?
Yes.
When you met with Autumn outside when she's going to be checked out by the ambulance, I had asked you on direct, did you fabricate a story with her? Do you remember that question
I do not.
that I asked you earlier? Well, let's put it this way. Did you fabricate a story with her?
Oh, okay. I see where we're at. Okay, I'm sorry.
Do you recall what me asking you that question?
Yes, I do.
Did you fabricate a story about what happened?
No.
In essence, are you telling the jury what you saw that day?
Yes.
Your Honor, people don't have any further questions for this witness.
Thank you. Mr. Donison, any recross?
One second. No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you. Do any members of the jury have questions for Mr. Arroyo? All right, Mr. Arroyo, I have some questions from the jury. All right. Did Chris comb his hair or do anything to adjust his appearance before going out to meet the police?
No.
How long did you and your bio dad live at the Fair Acre residence by the day of the assault?
Couple months.
At any point, was Autumn on the small couch?
I don't recall.
Right? Did you see the defendant hit Lily?
No.
Did you see the defendant pull out a knife and threaten Autumn?
I do not recall.
Did you tell the other two males, your dad and grandfather, what was happening downstairs between Chris and Autumn?
Yes.
When the defendant left the house with his brother and Autumn was already gone in the ambulance, did he leave the children behind? If so, who took responsibility of the three children?
I believe he did, and it would have been my grandfather.
During the September 4th assault in the basement, where in the basement were you standing?
In front of the little couch.
Was your room in the basement?
Yes.
Where was your room in relation to the assault?
Down the hall.
Were you in your room when the argument between your aunt and uncle started, or were you in their bedroom?
Their bedroom.
Thank you. Mr. Daly, any follow-up questions based on the jury questions?
Very briefly, when you went upstairs to tell your father and your grandfather about what was going on, did they do anything?
No.
And then ultimately, when you were, one second. Were you, when you saw Miss Quinlan on the little couch, what could you observe?
I don't recall seeing her on the couch.
Oh, I'm sorry. When you were behind the little couch, what could you see?
Autumn on the floor, Lily in her lap.
Was she being assaulted at that time?
Yes.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Mr. Donaldson, any follow-up questions based on the jury questions?
Yes, ma'am. You said you were up and down quite a bit, correct?
Yes.
And during that time, you're saying it was a course of, from your own words, an hour?
Objection, Your Honor. This is outside the scope of the jury questions.
Sustained. Mr. Donaldson, you're limited at this time to
But it's,
ask questions regarding the jury questions only.
and I'm saying, you, during all the tussling and everything else you're saying you witnessed, you had time to know whether or not I groomed myself?
Can you rephrase that?
I'm saying you had time to know whether or not I groomed myself, whether or not I combed my hair or bathed or did my hair or did anything?
No, I believe I answered either I'm unsure or no.
No, you said I didn't.
I don't believe you did. I believe you just left the house.
Well, I'm saying you don't know if I comb my hair or
Your
not?
Honor, this has been asked and answered.
Sustained.
I don't know if you combed your hair or not.
Okay, that's, okay, okay, you don't know if I comb my hair?
Your Honor, this has been asked and answered.
Sustained.
But there's,
Been asked and answered.
okay. Can I see the other questions real quick? Sorry, give me a second. You said you went and told your father and grandpa, correct?
Yes.
But isn't it true that your father was downstairs?
No. He was upstairs working on his car, I believe.
Your father was not downstairs?
No.
During this time?
Nope.
And isn't it true that the altercation between Autumn and I started by the stairs?
In front of your room, which was necessarily in front of the stairs. So yes,
So not in the room?
it was in the room. But again, it's like your room's kind of weird. It's got a little hallway and the stairs are right there.
So in the room,
Your Honor, this is going beyond the scope of the jury questions. I did allow it to go for a few more questions, but this is beyond the scope of those questions at this point.
but it says that,
So, Mr. Donaldson, wait, I have to make a ruling.
I'm trying to say this right here.
I'm going to sustain the objection.
For the record, your father was not a resident in our home, correct?
Your Honor, that's outside the scope of the questions.
Sustained.
Well, they didn't answer that question?
It's a sustained objection.
Just you were a resident in our home, correct?
Yes.
Okay. No further questions.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Roy. You may sit down. May he be released from any subpoena that he's under at this time?
He is released from the people's subpoena.
Any objection?
No.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right, it's not over yet, but you see how he was trying to act towards him. He was getting more and more comfortable with the questions and just was trying to go in on him and discrediting him and all of that. He's already cooked, but we got somebody else coming up here. Quite sure you don't like this.
Are the people prepared to call their next witness?
We are. People call Allie Lackey.
Would you mind approaching? There's a exhibit left on the witness stand when you have a moment. I'm going to let her grab that ball. Swear you in?
Mhm.
All right, Ms. Lackey, if you wouldn't mind raising your right hand for me. You swear and affirm under penalty of law that the information you provide to the court will be the truth and nothing but? Yes. Thank you. Please be seated. When you're seated and comfortable, please state your full name for the court's record and spell your last name.
My name is Allie Lackey, Lackey.
Thank you, Mr. Scott. You may inquire.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon, Ms. Lackey.
Hi.
Ms. Lackey, I just want to ask you some kind of background questions and question about your professional experience. Are you currently employed?
Yes,
And where are you employed? What is your role or position with
I'm a
management?
nurse.
Any type of specific type of nurse?
Right now, I'm a flight nurse.
Okay.
Let me knock this out real quick. Welcome to the, thanks for the celebration of the 10 months of membership. And thanks for hanging out with us and being a member for so long. Thank you.
And what is a flight nurse?
We are basically a critical care nurse that works out of a helicopter.
So if there's an emergency or someone needs emergent kind of medical transport, you respond alongside the medical team with that helicopter.
That's correct.
Are you also a trained forensic nurse examiner?
Yes.
Can you describe what a forensic nurse examiner is?
A nurse examiner is a nurse who's been trained to interact with people, victims of domestic violence, sex assaults, abuse, strangulations. We learn how to speak to them, there are resources for them, how to go about collecting forensic evidence.
So is forensic nurse or forensic nursing kind of a subset of the larger kind of nursing discipline?
Yes,
How long have you been a registered nurse?
13 years.
Did you have to undergo any specific education prior to becoming a registered nurse?
Yes, I had to do, I mean, I got my bachelor's in 2013, and then I went on and got I got my associates in 2013, got my bachelor's in 2022, I think.
Did you have to take any or get any nursing degree or nursing certificate prior to becoming a registered nurse?
No,
Okay. So you got a bachelor's degree in what specifically?
in nursing.
Okay. So you got your bachelor's in nursing. And then you became a registered nurse about 13 years ago. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. When did you start conducting forensic nurse examinations? Or let me ask a better way. When did you become a registered forensic nurse examiner?
In 2019.
So that was about 7 years ago. Is that right?
Correct. Yeah. Yes.
Are you still performing forensic nurse examinations?
I stopped doing them last month.
Okay. So for about 7 years up until 1 month ago.
Correct.
Now, I kind of asked you some questions about, there's forensic nursing, it's a subset of the larger umbrella of nursing. Did you have to undergo any specific additional training to become a forensic nurse examiner versus just a registered nurse?
Yes.
Describe that to the jury.
Sure. There's a certification we had to go to, 64 hours of online learning, and then a preceptor program after that at our hospital here in Greeley, where we were on call for 2 to 3 months with a preceptor, and we would get called in and perform exams with a preceptor.
And just for us that might not know some of the medical terminology, who is a preceptor or what is a preceptor?
An experienced nurse who can show us.
So someone who's been doing it for a while, who knows the proper procedures and protocols, you're watching them as they do those examinations.
Correct.
Okay. And so you're trained on how to do it, and then you watch people doing it, and then fair to say you do it as you're supervised.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. And then as part of that specific training, talking about forensic nurse examinations, did you receive specific training on strangulation?
Yes.
And you talked about how forensic nurses, a lot of the focus is on victims that sometimes would be reporting a sexual assault that they were a victim of, but also domestic violence. Is that fair?
Yes.
And specifically, when we talk about domestic violence, strangulation is also a big component of that. Is that fair?
Correct. Yeah.
And so did you receive specific training on kind of not only the anatomy of the neck, but how a potential strangulation event could impact the different structures within the neck?
Yes.
And the symptoms or results that could happen as a result of someone experiencing a strangulation event?
Yes.
Have you previously testified as an expert before?
Yes.
Do you know how many times?
4-ish.
And those approximately 4 times, were those all in the state of Colorado?
Yes.
Were they in the county of Weld or somewhere else?
Most were Weld. I did one in Larimer.
Okay, so approximately 3 or more times in Weld, at least 1 time in Larimer, is that right?
Yes.
And each time you've been qualified as an expert, has it been as an expert in forensic nurse examinations?
Yes.
And or potentially strangulation?
Yes.
Your Honor, this time the people move to admit and tender Nurse Allie Lackey as an expert in forensic nurse examinations under Colorado Rule of Evidence 702 and People's Motion I.
Any objection or voir dire?
No objection, Your Honor.
Court receive Ms. Lackey as an expert in forensic nurse examinations pursuant to 702.
Thank you. And so, Nurse Lackey, I want to go through just kind of some foundational questions for you and talk a little bit about what it is to be a forensic nurse examiner and what those examinations look like. Okay. So you described that you, up until last month, were a forensic nurse examiner for about 7 years. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. I know it's gonna be difficult. Do you know approximately how many of these forensic nurse examinations you've done over that 7-year period?
Close to 100.
Okay, close to 100.
Yes.
Do you know approximately how many of those have involved someone coming to you and reporting being the victim of a strangulation event?
About a third.
Okay, so approximately 30 or more. Is that fair?
Yes.
Okay. And I just want to have you kind of describe this term because I've been talking about strangulation and that type of thing. And there may be a difference between what some people think it is and maybe how you describe it. And so what is strangulation or the definition of strangulation in the medical term to you?
Strangulation is pressure on the neck from an external force.
So that's different than choking.
Yes.
The choking is like some type of internal structure blocking the neck, and strangulation is external pressure. Is that fair?
Yes.
Now, I talked about I asked you if you received specific training on like the internal structures of the neck and how specific strangulations events might impact those structures. And you said you did receive that training. Is that fair?
Yes.
And prior to testifying, did you actually provide some exhibits to our office that you believe would be helpful to the jury in describing both the internal structures of the neck and how they could be impacted by pressure and things like that?
Yes.
Okay. Your Honor, this time I'd ask for Investigator Fick to be able to approach what's previously marked as People's Exhibit 96.
Yes.
Yeah. It's okay. Thank you.
And so, Nurse Lackey, you've just been handed what's previously marked and identified as People's Exhibit 96. Do you see that exhibit in front of you?
I do.
And is it fair to say that that is an exhibit, like an anatomical exhibit showing internal structures of kind of the human body and the neck specifically?
Yes.
And does People's Exhibit 96 appear to be a fair and accurate representation of those structures as you are aware of them to be based upon your medical knowledge?
Yes.
Your Honor, this time people move the admission of People's Exhibit 96.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
Court receive and admit Exhibit 96.
Thank you. We'd ask to publish.
Yes.
So Nurse Lackley, I'm gonna ask you some questions and feel free to rely upon the diagram Exhibit 96 behind you. I know there is a pointer. If it's easier for you to stand up while you're doing some of that, we do have a handheld microphone. And so do you think you would prefer to use that or would you prefer to sit at the table and have that
I think I'd prefer to sit.
Okay, I'm not going to force you to stand, but you do have the pointer in front of you. And so as we go through these questions, feel free to use that. I've asked you some kind of foundational questions about the internal structures of the neck. And so can you just talk about some of those internal structures that we're referring to a strangulation event that might be impacted?
So there's okay. So we'll start with the jugular veins. They are blue and they remove blood from the brain to go back to the heart to get oxygen. They are on the outermost, they're more superficial, so they are closest to the skin. And then the carotid arteries are more medial, so they're deeper and they are red here. And they bring oxygenated blood to the brain. And then the last structure that would be affected by strangulation is right in here, which is your trachea, your windpipe, essentially. It's your trachea, there's a cricoid cartilage in there, there's a bunch of things in there, but those are the last things affected by strangulation.
Does every single strangulation event impact each and every one of those structures you described?
No.
Okay. Can sometimes one of those structures, the jugular veins, be blocked or have that pressure prevent it from working properly, and the other two be functioning just fine?
Yes, each of them take a different amount of pressure to occlude, to block. So just depends on how much pressure and where the pressure is.
So I guess let me ask you this, kind of following up on that. Would it be fair to say there's a number of different factors that can impact kind of which structures inside the neck are blocked or occluded, in your words, and how long and what the impact may be? Is that fair?
Yes.
Okay, so what might some of those factors be that could impact what structures are blocked, how long, and what the potential impact may be?
So what's used, whether it's a hand, a chokehold, a ligature, whether it's off to the side more, whether they're doing one or both sides or straight on, there's lots of things.
Okay, and one of the things you described, one of the variables you described was a ligature versus a hand. What's a ligature?
Something used wrapped around the neck, like a tie, a belt, a string, anything like that.
Okay, so any kind of other object beside the hand that could be wrapped around a neck and pressure applied.
Correct.
And how might a ligature, like that factor of a ligature being used, be different than a hand when we're talking about potential structures inside the neck being blocked or occluded?
Can you rephrase that?
Sure. So you talked about, one of the variables being potentially the use of a ligature, right, versus say a single hand. So when we're looking at those differences between the potential use of a ligature versus a hand, how might that impact which structures, if any, inside the neck, internal structures, are occluded or blocked?
Using a ligature instead of a hand. Usually there's more force with a ligature. I think it's easier to occlude more with a ligature than it would be with a hand.
Okay. And could that potentially be because there's like an even kind of surface all the way across the neck that force is being applied across?
Yeah, and I think it's also just easier for someone to tighten a ligature than it is to put your hand around a neck.
Okay. Now, again, we talked about there's factors that can impact what structures are blocked, how long, and certain things like that. But are there specific amounts of pressure that have been identified through the research that at minimally is generally required to block certain structures within the neck?
Yes.
Okay, can you describe some of that?
So the veins, the superficial veins that I was talking about, they take about 4 pounds of pressure. The carotids, which are deeper, take about 11 pounds of pressure. And then the structures with the cartilage they're a little bit stronger. They take about 30 pounds of pressure. For perspective, a handshake is 50 to 80 pounds of pressure.
So it doesn't take a lot
No,
to block those structures.
no.
Okay. And now you talked about how you talk about the veins and the arteries. We're talking about the flow of blood and oxygen to the brain. Is that fair?
Yes.
Is there a term in the medical research in your field to describe injuries that describe a deprivation or a lack of oxygen to the brain?
Yes. There's hypoxia or anoxia.
Okay. What is the difference between those two?
Hypoxia is a lack of oxygen, and anoxia is a complete block, no oxygen.
Now, if someone experiences a period of time with no oxygen to their brain, what are some things that can happen?
Well, usually people lose consciousness within 5 to 10 seconds. They can lose loss of bladder control about 15 seconds. Seizures can also occur within about 15 seconds. And then people die between 1 and 2 minutes. So I think bowel function can be lost around 30 seconds.
About 10 seconds, potentially loss of consciousness, about 15 seconds, potentially loss of bladder control.
Yes.
And so, obviously, I think a lot of people, if we're talking about the blocking of arteries, blocking of blood flow to the brain, that makes sense that someone could go unconscious. But why is the loss of bladder control something specifically that has been linked to that hypoxic or anoxic injury, that deprivation of oxygen to the brain?
Those are primitive functions of your brain. And so when you start to lose your bowel and bladder, it means there's these very basic functions that your brain isn't able to do anymore.
Now, and you kind of gave these time estimates. Again, well, you would agree that some of those estimates of how long it may take for someone to go unconscious or how long it may take for someone to lose their bladder always depends upon the variables of what's being used, how long, specific force applied, all of those things may impact those numbers, which are general estimates. Is that fair?
Yes.
Okay. Now, we've talked a lot about the internal structures of the neck, and that's what we have behind you is those internal structures. Is there always going to be some external mark around someone's neck when they suffer an internal injury like the blocking of the jugular vein or the blocking of the carotid artery or something like that?
No.
Is it oftentimes the case that there are no visible injuries around someone's neck, even though they do suffer those internal injuries?
Yes.
But sometimes there are marks on someone's neck.
Yes.
Is that fair? Okay. Now, as part of your involvement in this case, one, I'll ask you this. Did you personally conduct a forensic examination of a woman by the name of Autumn Quinlan on September 4th of 2023?
Yes.
Okay. In addition to conducting that personal examination of her, which we're going to go through, did you also review a number of pictures that were provided to you by the district attorney's office in preparation for your testimony today?
Yes.
Okay. And can we specifically publish People's Exhibit 12? And it might be helpful as well if Investigator Fick hands you a physical copy.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Now, is People's Exhibit 12 in front of you? Is that one of about 4 or 5 photos you were shown of Miss Quinlan from a previous date? So not September 4th, the day you observed her or conducted the exam on her?
Yes.
Okay. And in looking at People's Exhibit 12 in particular, are you able to observe what appears to be some type of abrasion around her neck?
Yes.
And again, you weren't there the day that this picture was taken or anything that caused that abrasion occurred. Is that fair?
That's right.
Okay. But does that abrasion on her neck appear to be consistent with a ligature potentially being wrapped around her neck?
Yes.
And why is that?
Because there are linear marks that are consistent with her story.
When you say linear marks, what do you mean by linear marks?
Long, skinny marks going horizontally across her neck that would be consistent with something around her neck.
Are you aware that Ms. Quinlan, as a result of the strangulation event that was reported to have to cause the abrasion you're talking about in Peoples 12 also reported losing consciousness,
Yes,
and that she also reported a loss of bladder control.
yes,
Would you agree that both of those symptoms are consistent with experiencing a strangulation event?
yes,
How about having a scratchy voice?
yes.
And why is a scratchy voice something that oftentimes is a symptom or a result of being strangled?
Because there's internal injuries, swelling, different things like that that go on after that you can't see. So drooling, hoarseness in your voice, hard time breathing, those are all things that can happen because there's injury inside.
So your voice can change a little bit, sore throat, that type of thing as well. Is that fair?
Yes, yes,
Okay. And each of those things, if reported later on, could be consistent with a strangulation event.
yes,
Is it fair that those symptoms, like the scratchy neck, the change in voice, it may take a little bit of time for them to develop or show up?
yes.
And when we talk about a little bit of time, we're talking hours, a day or two. What are we talking about there?
I would say hours.
Okay. So maybe not within 5 minutes, but potentially within a couple hours.
Yes.
So now I want to turn your attention to the exam you conducted on Autumn Quinlan on September 4th of 2023. Okay. And so on that day, where were you working?
At North Colorado Medical Center.
Is that here in Greeley?
Yes.
And so I know we've talked a lot about the fact you're a forensic nurse examiner, and you've conducted, I think, approximately around 100 of these forensic nurse exams. Can you tell the jury a little bit about like what this type of exam is? So, you know, someone like Autumn Quinlan comes in and reports that they've been a victim of a domestic violence incident. What are you going to do, and what is your process to document and treat this patient?
So these exams are completely patient-led. We don't do anything that they don't want us to do. They have to consent to everything. We try real hard not to do like a second victimization of these people. But we go in there, we explain who we are, we tell them what we can do, we let them know that they have a choice in all of it. And then once they consent, we'll start getting a story from them. And that story that they tell us about where they were hit or where they were, how they fell, kind of guides where we exam when we do our head to toes, like spots we'll be looking for specifically, places of injury. And then they'll also guide where we swab for DNA or photograph. At the end of the exam, we make sure they have the resources they need to go to a safe place. We help them out with that. And then that's it until we testify.
And so when, say, a patient comes in and they're describing to you kind of what led them to walk into the emergency room, led them to essentially your office, whatever it may be that day, and you're taking that history, you're taking it so that it can guide your exam and how you treat that person. Is that fair?
Correct.
Okay. And when you're doing that interview, are you going through and pressing them on every single detail like a police detective would or something like that? Or are you kind of letting them share the history and then going from there?
I don't. I'm sure all of us do it a little differently, but I'm assuming they are telling the truth, and I let them tell me their story, and that's where I start looking for injuries. I don't think it's my job to suss out the details and the facts from fiction.
Okay. So you're not like cross-examining people
No.
or doing that type of thing.
No.
And you don't necessarily need to do that to treat them.
No.
Is that fair? Okay. Turning specifically to Ms. Quinlan that day on September 4th of 2023, do you remember her coming in and you meeting with her to conduct a forensic nurse examination?
Yes.
Do you remember what history she provided to you that day?
Yes. Would you like me to talk about that?
Yes. What
Okay.
history did she give you?
She said she'd gotten into an altercation with her boyfriend when he read some text on her cell phone. And there was some punching, and then there was a massage gun in the mix somewhere where she got hit with that. And then she ran and got some help.
Did she describe that he had found her phone and realized that she had pressed charges earlier that day?
Yes.
Did she describe that he had almost killed her on July 24th?
I don't remember that.
Okay. As part of your examination, do you, create a record, a medical record of that exam and your observations that day?
Yes.
And included in that record, do you have a paragraph where you summarize what the patient told you, the history that led them to kind of have that exam that day?
Yes.
Would actually looking at the paragraph you wrote in which you summarized the report Autumn Quinlan gave you refresh your recollection as to what she told you that day prior to you doing the examination?
Yes.
Your Honor, permission to approach the witness with a copy of the Banner Health medical records from that examination, and I will show, Investigator Fick will show the defendant what I'm referring to.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. So Nurse Lackey, I'm just going to have you read that paragraph, and when you're done, just hand it back to Investigator Fick so she can take the records back.
Thanks.
So Nurse Lackey, after reviewing that portion of the medical records in this case where you summarize the statement made to you by Autumn Quinlan, did she describe that she had almost been killed by her assailant on July 24th?
Yes,
Okay. Did she talk about going back for her daughter and her daughter saying, owie?
yes,
Did she talk about what her daughter's name was?
yes.
And what was her daughter's name that she gave to you?
Lily,
And then you described that she reported a massage gun being used?
yes,
And did Ms. Quinlan report that at some point during the assault, the police had showed up?
yes.
Do you remember what she reported happening after the police showed up?
She was told to go along with it or hide.
And did she indicate what she did after she was told to hide?
She noticed no one was paying attention and she ran 2 blocks.
So she
Got
ran
help.
and got out of the house.
Yeah.
Okay. And so is it fair to say that when she gave you that patient history that day, she was not describing a strangulation event that occurred to her that day? It was from July.
Correct.
Is that fair?
Yes,
Okay. And that day on September 4th, she described being beaten
correct.
with at least a massage gun.
Yes.
And so what did you do at that point to try to document what, if any, injuries you could see on Miss Quinlan?
I just started a head-to-toe assessment on her. I think she probably didn't remember all the injuries because everything happened pretty quickly for her, but I just started a head-to-toe assessment and I started taking pictures.
And now when you're doing a head-to-toe assessment and you're kind of notating there are injuries that you find or you observe, what are you kind of marking those injuries on? Is there like a specific diagram that you're using to chart those injuries as you're observing?
Yeah, there's a body diagram and I'll try to put the number of the injury because we have to do a body diagram and there's a list. So it's a numbered list. So I tried to put the number of the injury on the body, circle it wherever it was, and then write the details of the injury on the list.
Okay, so you'll find it, mark it on the kind of the chart body that's shown, and then there's essentially a list at the bottom where you then detail like how big it is and what it is, abrasion, laceration, that type of
Yes.
thing. Is that fair?
Correct.
Okay. At this time, I'd ask that Investigator Fick approach was previously marked and identified as People's Exhibit 95.
Yes. And just make sure. Yes,
Your Honor, I was just gonna ask if we could take a break. I really gotta go to the bathroom.
That's fine.
that's fine. We can go ahead and take, it's about 3 o'clock. We can go ahead and take our afternoon recess.
Okay.
All right, we'll go ahead and take our afternoon recess. I do need to remind you that until the trial is completed, you must not discuss this case with anyone either in person, using the internet, or by any other means. This includes members of your family, people involved in the trial, other jurors, or anyone else. If someone approaches you and tries to discuss the trial with you, or if you see or hear anything about it, even accidentally, please let me know about it immediately. You must not conduct any research, undertake any investigation, or otherwise obtain information about the case from an outside source. You must not read or listen to any news reports or internet information or other electronic sources about the trial. Your verdict must be based solely on the evidence presented in the courtroom and the laws I instruct you. Finally, it is especially important that you do not form or express any opinion about the case until deliberations at the end of the trial. All right. And with that, we'll go ahead and take our afternoon recess. I'll rise for the jury. Okay, thank you. You may be seated. You may also step down. Sorry. I think that was your question. We are outside the presence of the jury. Are there any issues that we need to address before we take the afternoon recess?
No, not from the people.
Oh, I didn't hear, you said, no, I don't have anything else, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. We'll be in recess.
All right, they're in recess and we're in recess. So I'm gonna bring that. I should be good. I'm gonna bring that next part tomorrow, which is the next half of this. He will be questioning the nurse, so you know that's gonna be interesting. So I got the banner just in case if somebody wants to get alerts, in case you're not getting them from YouTube when I go live or do premieres. That's it. It's not for regular videos. And members, I need you to check the community post. I have a post up there that I need you to answer when you can. So I think we should be back tomorrow night. All right. So probably the same time, 10:30 Eastern Standard Time, so we can check this thing out, because this has been a good case. So I've been enjoying it, and a lot of you have too. So let's just get out of here and look for the post tomorrow. And don't forget, members, check that community post. I got something over there I need to get an answer to from y'all. I appreciate it.
Walked in thinking I know enough, but the courtroom game is always tough. Rules are written line by line. One wrong move can cost you time. Evidence, objections fly. Every answer's under trial. Confidence can disappear when the law becomes unclear. You can study every night, still miss what's hidden out of sight. There's a reason lawyers train. Years of practice, years of pain. A person who represents himself has a fool for a client, thinking every move is right till the courtroom changes the fight. A person who represents himself has a fool for a client. Pride can lead you off the track. Some mistakes don't come back. Standing there with no defense, learning law through consequence, trying hard to make your case, but the rules set every pace. Cross-exam and legal terms, every lesson slowly burns. What looks simple from the chair feels much different standing there. Emotion clouds what you can see. The law demands objectivity. Knowledge matters every day. Experience lights the way. A person who represents himself has a fool for a client. Justice isn't just a speech. There's a craft you have to reach. A person who represents himself has a fool for a client. When the stakes are all too high, get the help that money can buy. Some can do it, that is true, but most don't know what they'll walk through. Every ruling, every page comes from years upon the stage. No shame in asking for advice. Freedom's worth the sacrifice. Better wisdom than regret. That's a lesson, don't forget. The person who represents himself has a fool for a client. Listen close before you choose. There's far too much for one to lose. A person who represents himself has a fool for a client. When your future's on the line, legal help is worth the time. Don't let pride become your guide. Leave your ego at the side. When your freedom's in the air, the smartest move is to prepare.
Good night, good morning for y'all that are over in the UK or wherever you are. But tomorrow, let's hang out. All right? I should be good. See you.